All right, guys, so today we're looking at Fit Food Friday. We're gonna be talking about meal prepping. Now, meal prepping, it might not be for everyone, but it's basically the idea that you know what meals work for you, right? You have an idea of what you like taste-wise and what fits your macros. So you bulk grocery shop, you grab everything you need, and then you set up days throughout the week where you're gonna prep large amounts of it and you just eat them, throughout the week. And it takes the stress out of creating meals every day, worrying about where you're eating out, and it's a more, obviously flexible dieting, and if it fits your macros, is meant to be flexible, but if you're someone who's very strict and you know what your macros are and you're worried about having to figure stuff out and you just want to simplify it, meal prepping can be a great way to do that. Now, I guess I want to talk about the type of people that meal prepping is for, right? If you're someone who really doesn't like rigid structure, if you're someone who really likes to go kind of by the seat of your pants and that's why you're into flexible dieting, then I don't think you're gonna enjoy meal prepping because it becomes very monotonous, right? Especially if you cook a lot of the same stuff. Like for me, I really stick with chicken and ground chicken, and then I usually have some kind of like Bob Evans easy make with it. It's not the healthiest thing, but it fits my macros pretty well. And then broccoli, I just like broccoli as a vegetable. I'll eat a cup of broccoli with every meal. I find that it keeps me feeling good, keeps me feeling healthy, and I just enjoy the taste of broccoli. So I will eat those meals 2 to 3 times a day, every day, 5 to 6 days a week, with one day where I just kind of loosely track flexibly. A lot of people aren't going to enjoy that because they're not, they just don't like having to stick to such a rigid structure and they get bored very easily. For me, I like the peace of mind of knowing I'm hitting my macros and I don't have to worry about going out and finding stuff and stressing all day about that. It's just something that I don't have to think about. And because I'm trying to stick very heavily to my macros and being very strict with them, I'm seeing food more as fuel than for taste. So I'm not worried too much about what I'm eating and how it's tasting. To me, I'm just happy that I'm getting the numbers in that I need to get in. But I do have days where I take off and I just eat, and again, try to hit my macros, but eat more flexibly, eating stuff throughout the day that isn't pre-made, isn't on my meal prep list. And again, that's because I'm very, very heavily set on this goal, and it's peace of mind for me knowing that I'm getting this food that's helping me stick to my goal, and it's easy and it's one less thing for me to think about. Again, on the flip side, there's lots of people who they don't believe that's a sustainable lifestyle. And again, I'm just prepping for this bulk that I'm doing, so I enjoy it. But again, I agree with them. It's not always sustainable, right? There's going to be a burnout phase for me eventually, I'm sure, where I'm just like, I don't want to eat chicken anymore. I don't want to eat any of this pre-made stuff anymore. And at that point, I'll either change up what I'm eating or I'll go into a more flexible role. And that's the great thing about if it fits your macros, is you can fluctuate the way that you diet without having to, essentially mess up the diet. The argument for macro and micronutrients, again, because I'm focusing on having, lean chicken and broccoli and trying to get complex carbohydrates in there, my micronutrients might look better than someone who gets their carbohydrates from a Pop-Tart or Reese's Puffs or something a little more simple. But again, it comes down to longevity, right? If you're hitting your macros every day, you're gonna be you're gonna be in better shape than someone who hits really clean macros 4 days a week and then messes up, Friday, Saturday, Sunday because they just can't stick to it anymore. So it's really personal preference. You kind of have to ask yourself, what kind of person are you? Are you someone who can really robotically stick to it and do the meal prepping version of it? Or are you someone who just doesn't like the robotic feel of that and likes to adventure and eat out? But long story short, for this Fit Food Friday, I believe that meal prepping is great for anyone who's very, very committed. I think it's almost completely necessary for someone who's on a cut or on a strict bulk, to make sure you're hitting your carbohydrates, hitting your macros, because you're not always going to be able to guarantee that if you're just randomly eating out every day of the week. Also, if you're on a budget, it's much easier to know exactly what everything's going to cost. Buy it all on a Sunday, prep it, and know that you have your food set for the week, and you don't have to worry about constantly tracking how much you're spending throughout the week. So if you're like me, fresh out of college, you're trying to stick to a budget, that's a great way to do it. You can buy foods that fit your budget, meal prep, and make sure it fits your budget and your macros. Again though, someday down the road, maybe I'll eat more out, maybe I won't. But for right now, this works very well for me. And again, if you're trying to get great results, guys, I'd highly recommend you meal prep as well. You can use some of the techniques you've seen in this video and try it out for yourself. So if you like this video, guys, leave it a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on meal prepping and some of your tips and tricks to make things taste a little better, or some of your own recipes that you have that you'd like to share. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.